You think you know what we're going to talk about.
And welcome back to Three Fates Decide.
It just sounds more dramatic that way.
All right, so this week we are going to be talking about...
But just when you least expect it, we changed the game.
One Will Smith slapped Chris Rock.
I mean, we always celebrated Easter.
Harry Potter the Half-Blood Prince.
So we're going to do another free talk, freestyle thing, no planned discussion.
At the end of the day, only one thing matters. We decide.
We're going to hit the main highlights.
That is the thing, like what we were saying back in that episode.
Quick recap.
Three Fates Decide podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Three Fates Decide. My name is Sam, and today we're actually going to be doing something a little bit different, where I'm going to be doing a solo episode, where it's just you and me and a topic of my choice. We might be doing this a little bit here and there, where each of us kind of do a solo episode and things like that. So you get to just hear me ramble for a little bit. Hope you don't mind. But so for today, I wanted to talk about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. As I'm sure I've mentioned before, I live not far from New York City. And one of my favorite things is Broadway musicals and theater in general. So I wanted to talk about some of the, best Broadway musicals, in my opinion, of course, and talk about the three that I saw this year alone. I saw 2 in May and 1 in June, and so kind of go over those as well. So there's been so many different musicals that have gone in and out of New York through the years, and I've seen several different. I have a binder of playbills that I only started more recently. So a lot of my older playbills from like when I was in high school or middle school and stuff like that, I don't have anymore, which breaks my heart because, I don't have all my playbills. I wish I did. In fact, my binder is actually getting very, very full. I'm going to have to buy another binder for all my playbills. I'm almost filled out. So I'm just going to go over, a couple things, and I would love to hear, if you're a theater person, if you like musicals, or even, dramas, anything from where you are, if you're in another country, or even if you saw something, on tour or anything like that. I'd love to hear what your favorite musicals or shows are in general. I'll start by saying my very first musical was when I was in middle school, and it was Riverdance, which I know isn't like, it's not like a Broadway musical, but it was Riverdance on Broadway. And that was the very first play that I ever saw. And then from there, it just kind of, but I always loved musicals. I grew up with my dad and my mom always playing Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, and Cats constantly. So I grew to love musicals through those 3 very iconic musicals in my life. And from there, obviously having the chance and being lucky enough to live close to New York and going up and seeing so many shows, I've been able to see so many shows as a result. So more recently, like I said, I saw 2 in April. In May. I saw the musical 6, which is about the 6 wives of Henry VIII, which I absolutely loved, and I would totally go see again. It is a very short show. There's no intermission, but it is short. It's maybe a little bit more than an hour. That's the only thing that I would say that's negative about it. But because these girls literally go nonstop, it's like a concert. It's not necessarily like a play type of thing. They just sing one right after the other. Fantastically done. Like I said, I loved it, but I just wish it was longer because I just didn't want it to end. So that's the only negative that I would say with that. Then after that, I saw, for the second time, I saw Chicago with Pamela Anderson. And I had seen Chicago before when it came back to Broadway in like a reboot, and it's a very simplistic show now, where it's very, one set, the orchestra's on stage, and the dancers sit kind of on the wings and stuff like that. And so, that's what I saw. Pamela, she did fine. I was lucky enough. I sat like third row from the stage and did well. She's not the best singer, and you're on a Broadway show. But I think that's what Chicago's trying to do because it is competing with a lot of these huge productions. So what they do is they tend to bring in more celebrities and to try and like garner up, more of a following. Now she did fine. I'm not gonna sit there and say she was terrible. She wasn't. Her acting was pretty good. Her facial expressions kind of freaked me out sometimes. Since I was sitting so close, I could literally see her. I think she and I locked eyes for a moment. Her singing just wasn't up to snuff. But again, not her fault. She's not a Broadway singer. And then in June, I was lucky enough to go see The Music Man. And I remember I was so excited to go see The Music Man because I love Hugh Jackman and I love Sutton Foster, who play Harold Hill and Marion. And we were going on a Tuesday. The Sunday before was the Tonys. And Hugh Jackman got COVID and announced on Monday that he was not going to be in the show for like a week and a half. And I remember just being absolutely devastated because that was one of the reasons why. And a lot of people were saying, oh, just tell them that you want, a refund or whatever, and they will do this, that, and the other thing. And I decided, you know what? I'll go see the understudy. I'll go and do, that whole thing. I saw Max Clayton as Harold Hill, and he was phenomenal. And it turned out to be historic because he had been a part of that company for 3 years since they started. And he's never had a chance to perform Harold Hill because Hugh Jackman was always there. When Hugh Jackman got COVID the previous time, it was during previews and all that stuff. They stopped. They just didn't do the show. So that was Max's first night ever portraying Harold Hill in front of an audience. So I was so happy I got to see that. He was so amazing. And I'm happy that I didn't ask for new tickets for when Hugh Jackman was there, as much as I would have loved to see him. So those are the three that I saw this year. But, I've seen, like I said, Chicago twice. I've seen Phantom of the Opera, Lion King, Wicked, Les Mis. I saw Mamma Mia. I saw Beauty and the Beast. I've seen Rent, 42nd Street. Just to name off a few. There's so many. Oh, I saw Frozen. I saw Beautiful, which is about Carole King. That was fantastic. I'm actually really sad that came off. I've seen Newsies. I saw Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid I didn't like, and which is probably why it isn't too shocking that it wasn't on there for that long. But the thing about Little Mermaid that I didn't like is for them to quote unquote swim, they used Heelys, like the sneakers with the wheels in there so that you can kind of like skate. So when they would swim, they would run and then jump to like float. It was very distracting. So, yeah, I didn't like that too much. So that's the one. Let me see. What else have I seen? Going through real quick since I'm going to be cutting all this out. I mentioned Beauty and the Beast. I really want to see Beetlejuice. It just came back onto Broadway, and I'm really hoping that I get a chance to see it before it goes away. I've seen Hamilton. Didn't see the original cast of Hamilton, but I did see Hamilton. I did see the original cast of Wicked, though, which is pretty awesome. Actually, the first 2 times that I've seen Wicked 3 times. First 2 times I saw Wicked, I got to see Idina Menzel in both. But the very first time it was for a high school trip, and I actually got to see the entire original cast. So I saw Kristen Chenoweth, and I saw Idina Menzel, and Joel Grey, and oh my God, it was amazing. I'm so happy that I got to see them. Let's see. I said Frozen. I've seen Hamilton, which was very good, and I know it's on like Disney Plus and stuff now, but if you have a chance to go see the live show, I still recommend it. I really do. Saw Legally Blonde, The Lion King. I said The Little Mermaid. Mamma Mia. I want to see Moulin Rouge, but my favorite guy, Aaron Tveit, is no longer in it. So, but The Music Man, I said, Newsies, Phantom of the Opera, I've seen twice. Pretty Woman, I saw that. Saw Pretty Woman, the musical. Sorry for the background noise if you can even hear it. Wow, I guess I haven't seen as many as I thought. Tick Tick Boom, I wish I could have seen that because I love the movie. Waitress, I've seen. Wicked, like I said, I saw twice. There's definitely more. I should have gone to go get my binder, but yeah, that's just some of them. I have seen some off Broadway productions as well. I've also done community theater in the past, and I've seen some dramas. Like I remember I went to go see A Streetcar Named Desire, which was off Broadway. That was pretty awesome. Um, it's actually one of my favorite dramas. Yeah, like I said, it's amazing to live close to Broadway. As I said, there's a lot of Broadway shows that I haven't seen. In the history, obviously, of Broadway, it's not like things come and go as they. It's not like a movie theater where they're constantly adding new shows. So sometimes it is hard to see new shows, but at the same time, sometimes you get two or three shows at a time and they're not cheap. So there's definitely so many that I would love, 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 love to go see. But you know, it's just not always feasible to put out that money. Oh, I did see that show Diana. I mean, technically, I saw it on Netflix. Uh, about Princess Diana. Some things just should not be made into a musical, in all honesty. And that's the other thing. Like they have like Mrs. Doubtfire on there now, and they it's like certain things, and like even like Pretty Woman. Like as much as I loved, um, like I liked it, there's no reason to make it into a musical. It's like again very similar to what we've said about movies. Broadway is like losing uh, momentum, I guess, and creative ideas, and are just constantly taking movies or this, that, and the other thing and turning it into books is one thing, but movies that, especially cult classics like Mrs. Doubtfire or Pretty Woman, and then you're turning them into a musical, thinking that you're going to strike gold because the movie was so good. It doesn't work out. The one thing I mentioned though is Matilda. Oh, I have seen Matilda. I missed that one. So Matilda, and that movie's going to be coming out on Netflix, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do that. Prom, I know, was really good. Um, so all the all the different things, but that's pretty much it. That's all I can really say. Again, if you have a show, musical or drama that you like, that you want to mention or whatever, feel free to reach out to us. But that's it. Short little episode on my favorite Broadway shows, and yeah. Oh, here's one more thing that I can mention. There's a lot of drama going on about Funny Girl right now, um, because the original, when it first opened, they had Beanie Feldstein as Fanny Bryce. She's not, I guess, I don't know. For some reason, she was getting a lot of bad reviews, and I just feel like people were just attacking her because she's not what you would think Fanny Bryce looked like. She is on the heavier side, and and unfortunately, people suck. And from what I heard from my friend who saw it, she thought she did a good job, but her understudy was getting more praise than her. And then all this kind of like backdoor stuff happened where she was going to leave in September, but then they decided, oh, they're going to have Leah Michelle come in and take over the role or whatever. And I guess a lot of stuff happened, and Beanie got really upset. She wound up leaving July 31st, was her last show. And so now Leah Michelle is starting in September, and Jane Lynch, who worked with Leah Michelle in Glee, is Mrs. Bryce, is Fanny Bryce's mother in the play. She actually is leaving early also, and there's rumors, basically, that it's because she doesn't want to work with Leah. Leah has a terrible reputation, but apparently tickets have been selling like hotcakes now. So we'll see what happens. But the cast and crew seem to like Beanie. I'm really wondering what's going to happen when Leah comes into the fray. Right now, they just have like a temporary stand-in, but I'm wondering what's going to happen because there's been more than one rumor that Leah Michelle is actually ridiculously difficult to work with. So I am interested to see what happens with that. But other than that, that's all I have to say about Broadway. So thanks for listening to my short little episode, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Catch us next time.
And see what we're going to talk about.
Because the three fates decide.